right, here we go, Phil. Good evening.
Do you realise, Bruce, we've been around so long, we don't even have opening billboards saying this is Bruce and Phil. I guess people know by now.
Or a billboard. Well, who does have a billboard?
Well, most programs have an intro, so you know who you're listening to. So, folks, his name is Bruce Mansfield, and my name is Philip Brady.
That's right, yes.
And I have just seen in the last 2 hours the best and worst of Melbourne television.
Really?
And they were both programs on Channel 10, and I'll tell you about them. You might have hopefully missed The Living Room. Now, this is a local show, and it was a Halloween special. And in the last 10 minutes, which is, in fairness, all I saw, there were blokes in the stocks with their heads through the stocks and somebody pouring buckets of slime over their head. It was the most idiotic, childish, uninteresting television I have ever seen. It reached, I believe, I'd love calls about this because I don't normally see The Living Room, but that Halloween special I thought reached an all-time low. And then, as you know, it was immediately followed by the Graham Norton show.
But just getting back to the Halloween special, I suppose geared for the family, kids, Halloween, all the rest of it is all part of that, isn't it? Can you excuse it a little bit?
See, I don't know the characters on the show, which doesn't help.
You don't have to. They're all in drag and they're all in slime.
Yeah,
so.
well, you were aware of it too, but and the audience were lapping it up. They thought it was wonderful, but I've never seen anything probably quite so revolting on Australian TV.
I think the whole thing of Halloween getting into adults is a bit extreme. I mean, I can put up with kids and lollies and skeletons and all the rest doing the parades tomorrow night, and my grandchildren do it themselves. Yeah. But once it's into the adult area, I think, oh, no, please, come on, grow up.
7:30 is sort of prime time, but I'd love to know if people agree with me. Maybe the rest of the show.
I'm talking about adults dressing up.
Yes, I'm aware of all that. I know where you're coming from, but I'm just saying the whole theme of the show was just so idiotically pathetic. So thumbs down to Channel 10 for The Living Room.
Okay, if you saw it, would like your opinion on 900 693.
And in fairness, I only saw the last 10 minutes, but that was enough. It was yuck time. But then you saw Graham Norton, didn't you?
Yeah, I did enjoy that.
Isn't he grows on you after a while, doesn't he?
He does. He really and truly does.
When I first saw him, I thought, oh, you're so irritating.
Me too. I thought he was very vaudeville and very, 1938 and all that, but he does grow on you.
Yeah, he's sort of very Bruce Forsyth, but he has very interesting guests, including tonight, as you know, James Bond.
Although tonight, a bit flat, I thought.
Was it?
It was James Bond. It was the leading girl in the Bond, and then the enemy, and hardly had anything to say. I mean, Daniel Craig, is that his name?
Yes, that's the guy.
He's not exactly a font of gags and information, is he?
No, but everyone, I suppose, loves him as 007. But Christopher Waltz, he's an interesting man, but he doesn't speak very good English,
well, he doesn't speak at all.
No.
He just came out in a striped T-shirt.
He was the baddie in Inglourious Bastards.
But when you think of all the Bonds, none of them were really articulate, were they?
No, perhaps not.
Including Connery to a degree, and
Roger Miller.
Roger Moore.
Oh, not Roger Miller. Yeah.
Who was the Australian bloke?
That was Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton, was it?
Yeah, and Pierce Brosnan didn't appeal to me as 007.
No.
He was a bit weak, I thought, But
I suppose David Niven was the closest of the lot, wasn't it, in Casino Royale?
Wasn't that good with all the different James Bonds?
Yeah.
But, Graham Norton has grown on me, and he's a bit over the... He's very Graham Kennedy, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
With his mannerisms.
He is very much so. Very much.
So thumbs down to The Living Room, which I thought reached an all-time low, and thumbs up for Graham Norton, which was only seen in England a week ago.
Let's have a look at the ratings from last night. If that's of any interest, these are the international, interstate as well.
Yes, all right.
Seven's News #1 across the country last night. 1 and 2, ABC News #3, A Current Affair 4, then came Home and Away 5. Number 6 was Nine's News. Then the rest was Nine's News again. RBT 7:30 and Jamie's special.
Yeah, but we do stress national figures, not local.
They are national figures, and of course they change, don't they, when it goes to local?
Could be a whole new ball game in Melbourne. Now, I had some emails. We mentioned last night the passing of Adrian de la Virgin from Channel 9, who for years produced the Logies and Cows by Candlelight. I can tell you when his funeral is, for those who've requested that news from me. His funeral will be next Thursday afternoon at 1:30 at St. Ignatius Church in Richmond. And that's one funeral I do plan to go to. He was a great mate of all of us at Channel 9. And very popular, very lovable bloke was Adrian.
Okay, some of the topics you might like to comment on. This on-again, off-again casino for Geelong. It was sort of mooted early this morning. Yes, it's going to go ahead. And,
Yes.
And then as the day went on, no, it's not.
Yes.
So there's, I suppose, considered opinions on that. You know, some for, some against.
The blueprints looked attractive on Peter Hitchener's
It
news.
certainly did out there in the bay.
Yes.
Gee.
Although that's just an architect's impression, you know, that hasn't been approved.
Oh, well, I know that.
It'd be very expensive, I imagine.
Okay.
I'm really not in favour of a second casino. I don't know how you feel morally, but personally, I think poker machines and casinos lead to a lot of misery.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And certainly in the last fortnight, there's been so much talk about the heartbreak that has been brought on by people who don't know when to stop or
Yes.
are addicted to it.
Yes.
And it is like an addiction, apparently. You know, 50% of people can go along and have a bit of a wager and a bit of fun. Others, it's an all-day affair.
Now, I know there's more to Crown than gambling. You know, it's a whole entertainment complex and hotel, and that aspect of it appeals to me. But I think Victoria was a happier place before we had the casino and the poker machines.
Yeah, because we all tore up to the border.
To Moaba.
Up to Moaba in buses. Christmas sightseeing tours.
Yes, we did.
Come on up and spend on the border. That's why we were happy.
That's what we did.
Now, Halloween you might like to discuss. For, against, the history of Halloween. Do your children... It seems to be getting bigger and bigger as the years go by, don't
It's
they?
huge, isn't it?
It was never as big as a kid when I was... it was only in Donald Duck cartoons and comics.
Did it originate in Scotland or America, or where's it from?
I don't know. I think it's an Irish thing.
Oh, maybe.
It goes right back to the very roots of Irish
I'd really like to know.
farming.
Halloween meaning the Eve of All Saints, because November the 1st is All Saints' Day.
Also, we might like to talk about people who are very hard to talk to and hard to get through to. Who are the people that would be tough to sit beside on an overseas trip? The people who would be tough to sit beside, and that was with conversation, with rapport, whatever. Graham Norton would be one.
Oh, wouldn't he be over the top?
Oh, yeah,
imagine.
Just off the Tullamarine Freeway, you'd be saying, shut up.
Yeah, good question, David. Worth thinking about.
Daniel Craig, tough as all. Get out.
Yeah, yes.
And Sid James. Do you remember Sid James from the old Hancock's Half Hour?
Yeah, I used to love him as a comic.
Oh, tough.
Yeah. Yes, he would be. Do you remember he did the Mike Walsh show for a week?
Yes.
And it bombed, I think.
And Mike Walsh started off. Sid James, welcome to Australia. Nice to have you. Thanks very much. What are your hobbies, Sid? Golfing. And that's all he got out of
Yes, I know.
for a whole week.
Monosyllabic answers.
Oh, and I
Really
tell you who
tough.
was bad with Ernie Sigley. I tell you what. Oh, there was a hit maker. What was his name? I'll think of it.
Don McLean, perhaps?
Someone like that.
The hardest I ever had was Ray Stevens. You remember?
Ray Stevens.
Ahab the Arab.
Ray Stevens.
He's tough.
He was as tough as all
I
hell.
know, I've interviewed him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shocking.
Yeah, yes, no answers.
Yeah.
It's going nowhere. And Don McLean wasn't much better. Most of these people are all right in front of a microphone with a piece of music or a script, aren't they?
Oh,
Playing a character,
yes.
playing a part.
Yes.
But those themselves can be a bit dull.
Who was in the gutter in Camberwell with Kevin Trask?
Jeffrey Rush, was it?
No.
In the gutter. Why was he in the
No,
gutter?
he was in the gutter outside the Rivoli Theatre, and he all yes, no, yes, no. That's all there was.
Oh, Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
On the red carpet.
Tough.
Yes. Yeah, not easy.
No, not at all. 10:15, 3AW, back with more on 96906. Let's go to Noel, our mate at Aspendale Gardens.
Hello, Noel.
G'day, Bruce and Phil.
Hi.
How are you both?
G'day, Noel.
Thanks for your note, Phil.
Welcome.
Bruce, you've been caught up with the latest in the paper during the week.
What's the latest?
Better, mate, Big O.
Oh, yes, a brand new album.
He's bringing out an album on December 4th.
Now, his kids have just discovered it under the bed or something, some of these old tapes.
Incredible, isn't it? 2 days before his before his anniversary.
Yeah.
And remember you guys you were talking to, I'll go on another subject now, but that will be something to look forward to.
Yeah, it'd be like a present from heaven, won't it?
Exactly. That's exactly, Phil. But you know when you guys are talking, you've been on the Canberra in 1964?
Yeah, yep.
I was on that.
What year?
And I've got one of those little life buoys, you know, you used to buy from the crew.
I've got one of those too.
You have?
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah, there you go. You and I have so much in common. Bruce.
They were a little doll in the.
No, this is a life buoy, like a miniature life
Oh, a
buoy.
life buoy. No, well, I've got the little mate, one of the sailors.
Oh, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got 964 on it.
That's right.
Yeah, unbelievable, Bruce.
Up to the Cricketers Bar and the Meridian Bar.
That's right.
The Alice Springs room.
Yeah, marvellous.
Well, were you on the ship at the same time as us?
I only went up to Sydney, Phil.
Well, we were on board, yes.
Yeah, and then I went across to New Zealand on Himalaya.
Okay.
Yeah, she was a darling old ship. But remember, fellas, when you talked about the casino, remember Melbourne some time ago was going to bring in the Achille Laura and have her as a floating casino?
Oh, yes, I do remember.
Wasn't that a good idea, Bruce?
Yes, it was, Noel.
That would have been a great attraction.
Very much so.
Yeah, but there you go. These things are talked about in Melbourne, but they never happen, do they?
No, but I think there's enough gambling going on already. Do you agree?
Yeah, I don't think we need it, Phil.
No, I think it's too much misery.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true, mate, yeah.
I'm not a wowser and I love everyone to have a good time, but some people don't know when to call it a day, do they?
No, and it brings the drama with it too, Phil.
Yeah, and that's how these elaborate casinos are built, with people's winnings.
Yes, exactly.
Or people's losses, actually.
Yeah, that's true, Phil.
All right, Noel, good talking to you.
Nice speaking to you both.
Yeah. Okay, Noel. Hello to everyone planning the Geelong casino.
Yes.
Jeff, good evening.
Oh, good evening. How are you, boys?
Yes, good.
Hi, Jeff.
I just rang up. I couldn't help myself. Phil was saying before he was a bit put off by the people sliming or whatever they were doing on the TV. I didn't actually watch it, but I thought, gee, Phil, you are from the era where John Gilbert and Sid Halen and all them and Bert and Graham Kennedy, they all threw pies and slimed each other, and that was how they got a laugh.
Yeah, Jeff, I wish you'd seen this. It truly was disgusting. For about 10 minutes, there were these guys with their heads through the stocks so they couldn't move, and people in the show who I don't know, they might be lovely people, with buckets and buckets of yellow slime pouring it over their hair. And it was really, if anyone else saw it, they will agree with me, it was very in bad taste, Jeff, honestly.
Yeah, probably a bit ordinary, but as I say, I couldn't help it. I thought I'll ring you up because you're from those days with Graham and as I mentioned, Sid Halen and Johnny Gilbert. Those guys, they did anything for a laugh, and it was all about covering each other in cakes or shaving foam or anything.
Yeah, you're so right, but it was sort of done with more class in those days, you know.
What, a pie in the face?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, more sophisticated it was, Jeff. All right, mate. Get your point.
All right, boys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Good on you, Jeff. Thanks. I suppose there's certain levels of that. I mean, vaudeville was a pie in the face, a smash in the face, and
exactly,
and a kick up the backside.
Yeah,
which was, I suppose, looked down on and frowned on as much as you have tonight.
It goes back to the Keystone Cops slipping on a banana peel, even, doesn't it?
Yeah,
100 years ago.
It's got to get more repulsive as the years go by to get the sensation and the laugh.
Tonight it was just in your face.
Okay, Edna, down Hobart Way.
Hi, Bruce and Phil.
Yeah, welcome, Edna.
Good. I was just talking to Queenie. She always makes me laugh. What was I going to say? What about Burt Bacharach, Phil? What did you think of it?
Yes, I talked about it last night. It was just a superb show. There were only 8 musicians on the stage, and he made it sound like a symphony orchestra.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, his arrangements are superb.
Such beautiful music.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And did you ever, Bruce and Phil, did you ever see the little white piano at Hamer Hall? It's like it's in a glass case, and it's something to do. It was played at Shangy. There's a message there, but it's hard to see, and it's to do with that little white piano, and it's around the back there in Hamer Hall.
Must be in the museum there, yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful in there.
Oh, no,
very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll watch out for it next time, Edna.
Yeah. You haven't got church singing gypsies, tramps and thieves, have you?
Not of them.
I don't think we have. We've got a full board, Queenie, Edna. I think we better keep taking calls.
I think you better.
Okay.
All the best.
Thanks so
Okay,
much,
darling.
Edna. Righto. Thank you. Steve at Sunbury. G'day, Steve.
Hi, how you doing, guys?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm actually a great fan of the living room, but unfortunately I saw the first 10 minutes and turned off.
Right.
And it's usually a great show, but unfortunately they actually let themselves down tonight.
Oh, I'm glad you agree, and we saw different parts of the show.
Actually, I'm actually wish I saw your part, the last 10 minutes.
Oh, you did miss a thing, Steve. I think it's the worst Australian television I have ever seen.
But I actually think the show has great potential.
Yeah, maybe. I don't see it regularly.
Usually it's a good show, but unfortunately they actually let themselves down, and that's the only reason I actually rang tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad you gave it away early, Steve. Yeah.
Well, say I'm lucky. I saw the first 10 minutes and turned off.
Yeah, okay, good for you. Thanks for ringing us.
No worries.
Bye.
Good on you, Steve. I suppose if it's going to get out of hand, it'll do so on the eve of Halloween.
Yeah, and I would imagine it was a live show, you see, so they couldn't edit anything out.
Sure, I don't
know about that.
Laurie down Leopold Way. Hello, Laurie.
How are you, Mr. Shiny? It's been a long time.
Oh, hello there.
Yeah.
How are you, Philip? All right?
Yeah, good to hear your voice, Laurie.
Yeah, that's good. Look, I'm out in the office here, and you wanted some sort of feedback from a Geelong person. I've lived here all my life.
Yes.
And yeah, look, I think it's actually a convention centre that they want on the bay.
Oh, I see.
More likely than a casino.
Yeah, that's what your mayor wants. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because look, we haven't got the infrastructure to get people in. I mean, drop them off in helicopters and stuff like that. I mean, it's hard enough getting down from Melbourne, from Tullamarine to Geelong, let alone have a casino. I mean, it's better off going to the Crown Casino and staying there. And the money involved is huge. And there's other ways that Geelong are climbing back from, a fairly rough existence with Alcoa and different companies. Yeah.
Yeah, so a convention centre would be your first priority.
That's right. And one of our town fathers, Mr. Costa, he hadn't been consulted, and I mean he's one of the town fathers. So I think it's just a thought bubble.
I think so, yes. Yeah, that's as it was described.
I mean, Bruce, how often do you see the front page of the Herald Sun with a computer image of something, whether it's a freeway, a bridge or a railway track? Never goes ahead.
Laurie, how's the mayor down there? What are your thoughts of the Geelong mayor?
Well, I had a cocky look at him once, but I won't say anything further, okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's self-promoting person. That's all I can say.
But then I worked with him on, Bruce was indisposed right away. I worked with him on Good Friday one year on the Channel 7 Children's Hospital appeal. I found him a great bloke, as far as a human being. Great fun to be with.
Okay, Laurie, thank you for your thoughts on Geelong.
He reminds me of the Lord Mayor of London.
I was going to say, there's a whole new look of mayors and people in office worldwide. And Boris, what's his name?
The bloke in London?
Yeah.
Boris. Not sure.
Quite a fellow pushing himself and full of, personality, much like the fellow from Geelong.
Very flamboyant, aren't they?
Yes.
And I think they get things done.
I think so.
Yeah.
10:30 is 7 to 11 on Melbourne's own 3AW.
And now, from the back of my mind, you asked me the name of the Lord Mayor of London. Is it Boris Johnson? Does that ring a bell?
I think it is. All I could think of was Boris Yeltsin.
Exactly. Exactly. Boris Karloff.
But he's a crazy man, but gets things done, obviously.
Yes, indeed.
Gertie is at Caulfield.
Hi, Gertie.
Hello. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi.
My goodness, how time flies. I remember the first time I heard about Halloween was 1956, and I was sitting in a lounge room in 900 Ansel Road, Cleveland, Ohio. I was 26.
Yes.
And a couple of children, I was staying with my sister. We were renting the upstairs apartment, and a couple of children knocked at the door. And I said, what's it all about? I'd never heard of it. And they said, trick or treat. And they said, oh, this is Halloween. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. And I thought, at that particular moment in my life, I thought, this is not good. I was raised in a Christian atmosphere, and I thought it was evil, and to me it's becoming more. I don't think it's a vehicle for. I'm getting down to get smart now.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
It's not a vehicle for goodness. I think it's a vehicle for evil. It's getting down to sort of get smart talk now, isn't it? But no, I don't think it's... And I was absolutely astounded when I got back to Australia all those years ago. It wasn't... That didn't start to emerge until, I don't know. I was up in New Guinea when it started to emerge, so I don't know. But my goodness, it's not a good thing.
Well, thank you, Gertie, and I could understand a lot of people agreeing with you, but I think if it's kept to kids and trick and treat, I don't think there's a great deal of damage that can be done, is there?
No, there's nothing satanic about it. I mean, it's only pumpkins and candles and masks and things.
That's right, yes.
You know, it's not unchristian, Gertie.
And I think it's based on Thanksgiving. I think it is of the good reaping of the harvests of pumpkins and potatoes and wheat.
Yeah, which is only 3 weeks later. You're right. Could well be tie-in.
Can understand your thoughts, though, Gertie.
Candles and masks and things.
That's right, yes.
You know, it's not unchristian, Gertie.
And I think it's based on Thanksgiving. I think it is of the good reaping of the harvests of pumpkins and potatoes and wheat.
Yeah, which is only 3 weeks later. You're right. Could well be tie-in.
Can understand your thoughts, though, Gertie. Thank you. Thank you for your thoughts.
Yeah.
Melissa's at St Kilda.
Hello, Melissa.
Hi. I'm not sure if I've got the right line or not. You guys might be able to help me, Bruce and Phil.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm a mum of 4 and I'm homeless. I've been homeless since the 26th of January this year due to a home invasion. There was a second home invasion where a family member's wife was taken. I've been to St Kilda Crisis Centre. They've turned me away because of the long weekend. I've done everything in my power to see if anybody will help me, but I've been turned away. I am Koori. I've been told to go to Aboriginal housing, but I don't see any point of that. If I'm Koori or not, that shouldn't really matter.
Now, what about the Sacred Heart Mission in St Kilda, Melissa?
I've been there, but nobody will seem to help. It's been going on since January this year that I've been trying to find permanent accommodation.
I can't imagine anyone of the Sacred Heart Mission would turn you away. Do you have children with you at the moment?
No, I'm fighting. If I can find accommodation, my kids will come back to me.
Yes.
So where are you living now?
At the moment, I'm staying at the Gatwick in St Kilda, but I've got to get out of there because somebody's recognised me that was involved in the death of my cousin.
Yeah. What about, have you ever thought about staying in a caravan park? They're very cheap.
We were at the Brooklyn Caravan Park in Brooklyn, the Half Moon Caravan Park, but that's just closed.
Oh. Well, now we have somebody who might have the solution for you. Melissa, say good evening to the Reverend Jim.
Pardon?
Say hello to Reverend Jim.
Yep.
Hello, Jim.
Hi, Reverend Jim.
Hi, Melissa. Sorry to hear about your situation. Now, you're currently at the Gatwick, are you?
Yes, I am.
Yep. Look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my number off air, and I'll get them to pass it on to you. And if you can give me a phone call, we can have a chat in private and see what we can do for you.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Yes, please. That will be appreciated.
Very much so. Thank you, Reverend.
It's very, very generous of you.
Very kind. And we're now going to take you both off air so you can exchange phone numbers off the air and make some contact. All right, Melissa?
All right, then. Thank you.
All right. And thank you, Reverend, very much for your, your attempt to do something there.
This could be an answer to prayer for Melissa.
Could well be. So we'll just take them off there. Off air. 969 100 693. Anything you'd like to talk about? We've spoken about the casino for Geelong, Halloween. China ends its one-child policy. Remember travelling to China years ago and they said this is a one-child country, and we couldn't sort of understand it when there was 3 or 4 generally in families in Australia.
Yes. I think it's because there's more than 1 billion of them.
Well, of course.
You know, trying to keep it in check.
Yeah.
So they obviously practice birth control, obviously.
Well, I would say so. Over many years.
Either that or abstinence, either that or they're very celibate.
20 to 11.
By the way, a little earlier we tried to help a lady, I think her name was Melissa, who was finding it tough to find accommodation. We did put her in touch with the Reverend Jim, and we have done that with the best intentions and in good faith. We neither know Melissa nor Reverend Jim, and we hope that something works out to her advantage.
And we just hope that she'll be right for the future.
Well, absolutely. So we hope that...
So we know neither party.
No,
that's the point that Phil's making.
Just to make that clear.
Colleen at Mornington, are you there, Colleen?
Yeah, the person I would hate to get stuck by on an aircraft would be Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah, tough. Yes. Very good call. Yeah.
Donald Trump, it'd be all about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think you could get a word in somehow.
I don't think you would either.
And Colin, I bet you'd want to pull at his hair after a while, wouldn't you?
I'll get the air conditioning around the right way to blow it away.
Oh, you just feel like getting a comb and brushing it right back with some Nivea.
And you know, his ego's out of control, isn't it?
Oh, it always has.
It's as big as his hair.
And Colleen, talking along those lines, I wouldn't be happy sitting next to Hillary Clinton. I think she's one tough lady.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she'd be a tough old broad, wouldn't she?
Oh, would she ever?
And very ambitious, you know?
Oh, very, very, very ambitious. But saying that, out of the two, let's go for Hillary.
Of the two, yes, I think you're right. You wouldn't want to be sitting between them, would you?
And on a very long flight.
All right, good call, Colin. Donald Trump, wouldn't he be the limit?
Oh, yes.
He's very popular, though, isn't he?
He is. He's very popular.
Yeah, but the Americans are a bit naive and gullible.
But they just love it leading up to, and when the crunch comes, that's a different decision altogether when the president is selected and announced.
The election's still years away, isn't it, Bruce?
Hello again. This is John Remus with a passing parade of the story of a great land rush and its frightening repercussions. The land rushes of late 19th century America were an integral part of the insistent drive for progress and development that was to see the United States soar to world leadership. Viewed on a local scale, they epitomized everything base in the human makeup: unashamed profiteering, greed, cruelty, cunning, and hate. And I'll be back after this message.
When you cook electrically, you cook economically, you cook faster and you'll see you cook better electrically.
You'll cook better too with a new electric range.
Magic new type radiant elements cook faster, cleaner.
Modernize your kitchen with a new electric range.
You cook better electrically.
In 1820, increasing pressure of white population in the eastern states of America forced Congress to sign treaties with red Indians, pushing them into the empty West, where they were ceded a vast vague area called Indian Territory. Only government agents and a few licensed traders were permitted to enter the rich grasslands beyond the Mississippi. The Indians were to be allowed to live their own lives and develop their own civilizations on natural reservations. But when millions of white immigrants entered America hungry for land, Congress gradually whittled pieces from Indian Territory to accommodate them. The railroad stood to benefit hugely if the Indian Territory should ever be open to intensive settlement, and they waged a campaign of agitation to this end. Under pressure from vested interests, President Cleveland proclaimed that at midday on April 22nd, 1889, 3,000 square miles of Indian lands known as the Territory of Oklahoma would be open for settlement. Or in other words, up for grabs. Whole families made camp at the Kansas border, while government surveyors staked out farm allotments of 160 acres each, and the cities that were to be known as Oklahoma City and Guthrie. By dawn on April 22nd, 20,000 impatient horsemen and buckboard riders had assembled to await the crack of the midday signal gun, while 5 trains hissed steam at the frontier, ready to transport thousands of hopefuls too poor to own a horse. At the noonday gunshot, bedlam broke loose. In the wild scramble that ensued, scores of people met violent deaths. By November, Oklahoma City boasted 9,000 inhabitants, most of them starved, for the new territory had yet to produce a grain of food. But after a grim winter, the new season's wheat sprouted in profusion, and Oklahoma was on its way. The last and largest of the American land rushes occurred in September 1893, with the opening for white settlement of 6 million acres known as the Cherokee Strip. On the morning of the 16th, 100,000 hopefuls gathered to compete for 13,500 farm lots. Many of them had missed out on the previous rush and were desperate for land. Within an hour of the gunshot signal, bodies were littered over miles of sunburnt prairie, some with their necks broken in falls from terror-stricken mounts, but most of them murdered by rival land grabbers. Despite its bloody beginnings, Oklahoma, meaning land of the red men in Choctaw dialect, was quick to prosper. Indian Territory became America's 3rd largest producer of grain. By 1907, the white population numbered 250,000, and in November of that year, Oklahoma was proclaimed a fully fledged state of the Union. Our time is up till we meet again for another chapter in the Passing Parade. This is John Doremus. As always, thank you so much, and goodbye for now.
Yeah, hi to all our friends in the Wang. That's a 3NE Wangaratta, and TQN Deniliquin.
Yeah, the Wang. I haven't heard it called the Wang for years.
Oh, yeah, that's what they call it up there.
Oh, of course.
Do you know, on the Hume Highway, I think they have the busiest McDonald's in all of Australia.
They do, and it's just at Wangaratta.
Yes.
I think it is.
Yeah, probably on both sides of the road, I imagine, as most of these places are. But
they sell everything there. Hats, clothes, suits, pies, chicken.
I love the truckies meals you get at these road stops, don't you? Like the service stations where you ask for sausages and mash and cup of coffee and whatever. You know, it's a really decent service.
Well, it's sort of very butch, isn't it?
Yes, it is really, yeah.
You know, eggs, sausages,
you
toast,
feel like going in there with grease on your face and, you know, dirty fingernails and everything.
Well, if you haven't when you go in, you certainly will when you get out.
Just to sort of fit in, you know.
Russell, good evening. Thank you for ringing us, Russell.
How you going, boys?
Thanks for waiting on.
I rang you last night. I think I was the one that said the R1 Nara.
Yes, you did.
And I was gonna play it like a trick, but I laughed when I turned off, and there's a few people listening, and you got a few people saying they walk from here. I knew it wasn't R1; it was Archer.
That's right, the first winner. Yes.
Yeah, a long time ago. And the funny thing is, I heard Phil say before about why do greyhounds have a muzzle on?
Yeah, good question, isn't it?
Well, I train greyhounds. And the thing is, it's law, it's legal. You have to have them in case a cat or a little dog or something like that goes across. Because they're what they call tight animals. So they don't, anything that moves quick, they'll grab.
They'll think it's like a lure, yeah.
Yeah, and which we know all the thing that's going on now. And another thing, little trivia thing, you can look this up on the internet. I've got pictures of it. And you can even ask your listeners, what rode a greyhound in the 40s?
What's the question?
No, actually, I'll just tell you the answer. What happened? You're talking about monkeys. Someone said something about monkeys.
I think a monkey actually rode a greyhound.
Yeah, and you know why they stopped it?
Why?
Because the monkeys used to jump off one dog onto the other dog and punch.
Is that right?
That's true. That's what I thought, because I was sitting there looking.
Yeah.
Oh, we're losing you, Russell. It's
Having
a
a bit
bad
of trouble.
line.
That was a wonderful publicity stunt, wasn't it? During the 50s.
I'd forgotten all about it.
The monkeys were the rode the greyhounds.
They were the jockeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Gee, that's brought back memories.
Yeah, thanks, Russell.
Good on you, Russell. Thank you. Judy at Cranbourne.
Hi, Bruce and Phil. How are you?
Very well, Judy.
Good. I'm just ringing up to wish my beautiful daughter a happy birthday for tomorrow.
What's her name?
Tina?
Tina.
Yes, she will be listening, I'm sure.
And how old tomorrow?
46.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, she's my baby girl and turning 46 tomorrow.
And she going to have a Halloween party?
She's having a party, but not a Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, so we're looking forward to catching up tomorrow.
Of course.
Great. Your only daughter, Judy?
Beg your pardon?
Your only daughter?
No, I've got another daughter, older than Tina.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll all be all together tomorrow celebrating. And,
Lovely. Great.
And Tina's got two beautiful little girls.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Her little one actually goes to sleep listening to you boys.
Oh, the darling.
What's her name?
Audrey.
Audrey.
Lovely old name.
Happy birthday, Tina, for tomorrow.
Thank you, boys.
All right, Judy, have a lovely day tomorrow.
We sure will.
All of you. That's grand.
Bye. Good night.
Goodbye. Bronwyn at Clyde.
Good evening, gentlemen. Lovely to speak to you again.
Yes, welcome, Bronwyn.
Well, thank you. Firstly, I just wanted to say how great it is to have both of you together again, and that you're both in good health and good spirits.
Exactly.
It's wonderful.
That's the way.
And just a few good topics you've got that I want to touch on. Firstly, about the Halloween. Now, as I've mentioned previously when I've spoken to you, I've got two little girls, and they'll be turning 2 and 4 very soon in November and December. And they just, especially the older one, adore it. She went on her first Halloween trick-or-treating last year, and she just had the greatest time. And what I find works well is I understand that, it's not really an Australian custom. It's more American, and I understand that, and some people don't like to get involved. That's fine. And I found that a lot of people put up a notice saying on their doors, please don't knock, we're not doing trick-or-treating. And I think that's great. You respect that. You move on and respect their wishes, and then there's other people who would get quite into it. So as long as there's that respect and that mutual agreement, it works out quite fine. And the dressing up and walking around, it's great. It's also great social skills for them. And my girls just adore it. This year she wants to dress up as Elsa from Frozen, of course.
Oh, yes, of course.
Of course, And the other thing who I would not want to be stuck on a plane with, there was two that I thought might be a little bit aggravating. Kanye West. You know who he is?
Yes.
Yeah, he's quite an opinionated young man, but and also I'm not sure if I'd like to be stuck for a few hours with Andrew Bolt, although there's a few things I can get along with him with, but a few others, yeah. And what else did I need to touch on with you? No, basically that's just it, and it's just so great having you back on. And
Good.
It is a shame that the show's been cut down, but...
Yeah, but, there are pluses. We still do 4 hours on a Sunday night.
Yes, yes.
And this is rare. This summer we're together every Friday night from 10 till 12.
Anyway, thank you very much for your call, Bronwyn. Have a lovely day with those beautiful children and
Thank you.
And a lovely trick and treat.
Yeah. Did you, probably going back a month now, did you happen amongst your junk mail, Bruce, to get the Target and Kmart catalogues? There was about 40 pages filled with masks and costumes you could buy for Halloween.
Really?
Page after page after page.
But I'm telling you, next to Christmas, because I have a family member in that trade, in buying and selling of goods and gifts. Next to Christmas, it is the biggest outlet of money in the retail world.
More so than Mother's Day, perhaps?
Yes, even more so.
Oh.
because of all the claptrap and all the costumes and everything associated with it.
Yes, and yet after tomorrow, you throw it all away.
Well, you do.
Don't you?
Like the Melbourne Cup, it's only one day.
Yes, that's right. It's disposable
And
income.
all of those marvellous pavilions that they're building at the races.
Those marquees, yes.
The marquees for one day only.
That'll be. I think they start for the whole carnival, do they?
Oh, well, yeah, it's true.
Melbourne Cup Day?
Yeah, that's
for
right.
the spring
For the
racing
whole
carnival.
week. Yeah, that's right.
It sounds good. Now, a special guest on Remember When Sunday night after 8 is Steve Vizard, talking about his early days in television and the Tonight Live show as well on
And
Channel
also
7.
growing up and first jobs and how he went at school and what was the first thing he wanted to do when he left school, all that sort of thing. And we'll ask about the comedy of television and radio and the people that made you laugh.
Yes. Fast forward and so on. It's going to be a great show.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Sunday night at 8, folks. Remember when.
Okay, now to Hastings. Chris, good evening.
Hello, Bruce. Hello, Phil.
Hi, Chris.
I'm not crazy about people like Donald Trump and that, but Robin Williams would be quite. He's like so bubbly and that, wasn't he? And I don't know why he would want to kill himself.
Yeah, we don't know about that, but I mean, a tough audience on a transatlantic flight, wouldn't he, Phil?
So eccentric, Chris. You'd find him hard going.
Yes, you would. Okay, Chris, thank you. Pam and Berwick, good evening.
Oh, hello, boys. I thought you'd be on the Golden Princess.
Oh, yes.
And do you know, I was offered a passage from Sydney to Melbourne, and I knocked it back, Pam.
She looked very graceful, Pam, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, look, I popped in because I'm in and out all day, and I heard Dennis, talking about it now, but I had to go down to the doctor's. I've got this rotten sciatica. Do you ever get it? Oh, it's dreadful, I tell you. Anyway, I went and got a note to go to the acupuncture.
Oh.
The only thing that does any good, no matter, it just, one time it used to go away, but I find the acupuncture's wonderful. But anyway, the reason I am ringing you was I was hoping you'd be on the Golden Princess because I'm going to New Zealand with 4 of my friends in February on the Golden Princess.
How wonderful.
So I thought, well, I would have got the gen from you. But the reason I am ringing is I went and saw Humperdinck, Engelbert last night. It was fabulous.
Yes, tell us all about it.
Oh, look, do you know, you would not believe his voice. I mean, if you shut your eyes, of course, you could see he was a lot older.
Yeah.
But his voice, you would have thought it was just like it was when he was young. Fabulous. But look, they haven't done up the Palais. I believe you were there the night before, Phil.
Yeah, it's a bit run down. Needs a coat of paint, doesn't it, Pam?
Isn't it ever? Yes, that's what I noticed. That.
Yeah, it's very shabby.
Yes, but they said it's going to be done up, and I was I felt the prices were very dear, but I got mine from my family for my birthday.
And how much were the tickets?
150, but then Burt Bacharach was 189, I believe.
Really? I haven't paid for mine yet. Is that true?
Oh, right, I bet it was a freebie. But look, look, boys, coming home on the train, and it was, just like Pecan. We were a bit scared about coming home, around 10, 12
Yes.
But we talked to some people who'd been to the Rod Laver concert with Neil Diamond.
Oh, yes.
They're all coming out here, aren't they?
They are, and to all rave reviews.
Yes, well, Humperdinck was great. He had a brilliant guitarist. He had a saxophonist. His producer lady was on the grand piano, and he had 2 lovely blonde girls that were his support.
Yeah.
But an hour and 3/4, and he barely stopped. And do you know he sang my favourite song right at the end, and it's Perry Como. The Perry Como one where it's Lay Your Head Upon My Pillow.
Oh, beautiful song.
Yes, I had a lovely romantic interlude about
for the good
30
times.
years ago, and it must have been just when it was out. Oh, and it just took me back. It was such a wonderful night, boys.
Oh, how lovely.
I'm so happy for you, Pam. Was it a big orchestra or a small combination?
Yes, no, it was quite big. As I say, guitarist, saxophonist, a trumpeter, the grand piano, and then they had another fella who was Asian, and he was playing something like a guitar, but it was very deep.
Yes.
And then they had a young woman on one of those keyboards.
Oh.
Gee, it was excellent, but I couldn't. But anyway, he's gone now. I think he's going to another capital.
Hey, I saw a photo. Has he got a bit chubby?
Yeah, on the tummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit chubby on the tummy. And at the end, he was throwing these red hankies, doing like a Tom Jones thing, you know. And he put it between his legs. I mean, you couldn't take offence, you know, but acting like Tom Jones. And then right at the very end, this fella came on with a red dressing gown. So for his last song, he put this red dressing gown.
Oh, well, that's fun.
And also on the screen, they had... when he was younger, apparently he did this show on the Dean Martin show, and that was really good. They were really sort of, you know, jumping off each other. And by the way, Phil, while you were away, Patty was on, wasn't she?
Yes, she was on that.
I just caught some of that. I wish she could come on again.
Yeah, she's great.
Is she going to come on permanently?
Well, I think as a replacement from time to time, that would be the case.
And are you okay, Bruce?
Yeah, going well. Thank you, Pam.
Oh, okay, boys.
Okay, let's
catch up with you on Sunday.
Okay, let's give Pam a pancake parlour voucher.
Yes, you deserve this. Pam, a $50 voucher, and you can take it if you like to High Point, Doncaster or Malvern East, because those three pancake parlours are open 24 hours a day, every day of the week.
So take your girlfriends along and have a lovely morning or afternoon.
Oh, you're a darling. But really,
morning or afternoon tea at the pancake parlour.
Well, I didn't ring up for that.
Okay, just hold on now. Don't hang up. We'll get it sent to you.
Yeah, lovely, Pam.
11:26. Bernard, good evening.
Gentlemen, good evening.
Hi, Bernard.
You're talking about somebody to sit next to on your journey.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to sit next to Bob of Caulfield. He'd be talking about Fukushima the whole night.
Oh, yes. Yes, perhaps you're right.
Bulleted seas.
Oh.
And trees that's going to happen throughout the year.
Yes, you're right.
What is happening?
There'll be very prophet of doom, yes.
That's right. You talk about Steve Weiser.
Yeah.
Some years ago, he was reliving Dennis Walter. He did a good job, you know.
Yes, filling in for Dennis.
Oh, yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. I like him.
Yeah,
he's
very
terrific.
good.
Yeah.
And as the lady was talking about Perry Como, could I sing a few lines of a song?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't look so sad. I know it's over, but life goes on, and this old world must keep on turning. I'm glad that we had some time to spend together and watch those bridges after burning. Lay your head upon my pillow. Hold your warm and tender bodies close to mine. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Always finishes in the middle of a sentence,
Yes,
doesn't
he
he?
does, fortunately.
Doesn't get to the end.
Thank you, Bernard. Jane's at Baldwin tonight. Hello, Jane.
Oh, hello, Philip and Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, it's a shame he sort of finishes I'd love him to just sing a whole song, Bernard. We really do enjoy you.
I think he forgets the words.
Yeah, we do enjoy him. Philip and Bruce, I wondered if you read in the paper that the writer, he wrote all the comedies like Hello, Hello and You Being Served. It was such a shame. He died penniless after all that hard work.
I saw that in today's paper. Now that brings it home to Bruce, because Bruce was in the Australian production of Are You Being Served?
Oh, really? I don't recall that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a shame, isn't it?
Yes, I did read that. I wasn't familiar with his name, but
Jeremy Jeremy Lloyd. Jeremy Lloyd was his name. That's right. Come to mind. Because he also married the lady from the Absolutely Fabulous show. What was her name? Lumley.
Joanna Lumley.
Yes.
Yeah, they were only married temporarily. Yes,
That's
very
right,
shortly.
very briefly. And I think that's probably what contributed these 3 or 4 marriages consumed like all his,
the finances,
Yes.
He also wrote for Morecambe and Wise and Bruce Forsyth.
Yeah, such a talented person. Anyway, where Halloween's concerned, I don't mind it because I know the children get a lot of pleasure out of it.
They do.
But I don't I don't find it very entertaining because it's sort of, we didn't grow up with it, but it makes them so happy, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's a bit like Valentine's Day, all of those things that we've absorbed into our own culture.
It is. Do your children entertain it at all? Grandkids, Bruce?
Oh, they love it. They're all getting around in skeleton outfits today on the front lawn. And
You can't stop them, otherwise they're missing out on what everybody else is.
yeah, that's right. And they go around with their mates, and it's all very,
exactly.
bonding.
Yeah, they can't miss out. Anyway, I hope you have a really good weekend. It's going to be lovely.
Yes, it is.
Bit of rain tomorrow.
Bit of rain.
Not going to the races at all?
No. What about you, Jane?
No.
No.
No, not my cup of tea.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Jane.
Good night.
Thanks for calling.
Wouldn't you be lucky to be married to Joanna Lumley? Isn't she gorgeous? Do you know her work? She appears a lot as an actress, but also doing documentaries for the BBC. She went to the Greek islands. She went to see the Aurora Borealis.
What's your sudden attraction to her?
Oh, well, I've always been very fond of her. She's been around for years and years and years.
Really?
Just saying how lucky he was to be married briefly to her, I believe.
One of three.
And she recently did the Trans-Siberian Railway, too.
Thank you, Jane. 11:30.
All right, and the question we're asking, are you in favour of a second casino at Geelong? Do you know in Perth, even though they have the Casino Burswood, they don't have poker machines in WA? And I think they're better for it.
So they have the blackjack, don't they? The spinning wheels, they have the cards. I think you're right.
Yes.
Speaking of weather and cups, do you remember the time Bert Bryant called the race and it was absolutely torrential rain and it must have been a bit of fog around and inclement weather?
Yeah.
And he just couldn't pick up the group of horses on the other side of the track.
That's right.
And he said, they're like phantoms over there. I can't pick them up.
I'm surprised they didn't cancel or postpone the race
Well,
that day.
I suppose if it starts to rain at the beginning of the race, they're not going to cancel it, are they?
Yeah, he couldn't see in front of him. It was amazing, wasn't it?
Okay, William at Port Melbourne, good evening.
Not too bad.
Yes, William.
I was actually down the beach this afternoon to see that boat had come in. That's a monstrous one.
Oh, you saw the Golden
Oh, yeah,
Princess?
it's a big blighter.
Yes, 106,000 tonnes.
I only went down to squeeze it just to have a look at
They
it.
say one of the biggest ships ever to come
Yeah, it
in.
is. Yeah. I showed it on the TV, not inside of it.
Yes, Peter Hitchson showed us, yes.
But I only went down to have a squeeze. The cafes down there is doing the raw and trade.
Right. The Delish Fish is no longer there, is it? The Rex Hunt sold out.
No, that's still there, where Rex Hunt was.
Well, he's not there anymore.
No, it's actually good. They do a raw and trade,
Yes.
but it was good. I walked right along Bay Street.
It's,
There's a lot of taxis coming down.
you can't get near the ship really because of security.
No, I know,
You're better
I
to watch it from about a kilometre further down
I
there.
went down further.
Well, how far can you get in?
Well, you can't get near the port. So you park about a kilometre from it, look at it side on, don't you?
Well, I actually walked down past the Tasmanian boat, down a bit further, down towards Bay Street then.
Yeah.
I looked and then went back the other way.
Yeah, good, from both sides.
I'm not actually looking forward to tomorrow, to be honest.
Why?
I don't like thunder sometimes, terrified. I'm terrified to go to the door.
Really?
I'm scared stiff. I swear.
Yeah.
Really?
People react differently.
It was actually someone I was talking to yesterday, listens to your program, Jenny at Port Melbourne. She listens to you every night.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Jenny, hi Jenny, if you're listening.
Right. Okay,
I know I was going to ask you before you suffer. There's actually a song by Perry Como, Katerina. Is that still available?
Katerina, you could find it on the internet, I think.
Okay, William, thank you. 24 minutes to midnight. Enid at Footscray, there's our mate.
Hi, fellas. How are you?
G'day.
You know, I had a lovely card today from one of our youth group boys, or he's in his 50s now, but they were kids that all came to my home from little ones.
Yes.
Still to get together before Christmas.
Lovely.
And I got a call from them from Paris on holidays on the night of the grand final, which I thought was gorgeous. Then last week I received a call from my niece over here for just a few days from America, and it was the first grandchild on our side of the family.
Oh, how beautiful.
It was lovely. Then today I got the lovely card from him. They're now in Switzerland. They'll be home in a fortnight. But to cap to it today, I was waiting for a taxi to come home, and there was another gentleman there, about 50 I'd have said. And he said, have you booked a cab? I said, yes, I have. He said, well, there's one coming in, and the driver called out the name. He said, "No, love," he said, "I'll give way to you. You're a bit older than me. Thank you. You can have this one and I'll have the next one."
Oh, isn't that lovely?
I thought that was gorgeous because you hear so much rumbling, don't you?
Yes, you do.
But just to hear the nice things, so it's been a lovely sort of few weeks, really good.
Oh, I'm glad, Enid. You deserve that.
It's lovely to have. And how are you going, all right?
Oh, well, very well. It's very good.
That's good.
Yeah, we've had a great week. We love being with you now 6 nights a week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, and how's this gorgeous dog going too?
Oh, he's good. We had the dog whisperer over during the week, and he taught me some new tricks, Enid.
I think he's got you on tape.
Yeah, the dog has been a bit bluffed. I'm really only the housekeeper.
They win the day, don't they?
Oh, they win your heart.
Yeah. All right, just thought I'd give you a little bit of good news.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's wonderful.
That's lovely news.
Congratulations.
And lovely gesture by the man who offered you the cab.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you, you probably saw in today's Horse on the fixture for next year, and I'm sure you've studied it. How does it work for Collingwood? Are you happy with the draw?
I don't know.
Oh, you haven't looked at it yet?
Well, what's St Kilda like?
Oh, patchy.
What do you mean patchy?
Well, I'll talk to you about it next year.
No, well, tell me. You obviously you've studied the form. If you looked at Collingwood, what about St Kilda?
Not enough home games, but that's all right.
There isn't a home game?
Well, not enough.
That's
to my
unusual,
liking.
isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's...
well, how many home games are you having?
Well, it's the luck of the draw, isn't it?
What's that mean?
Oh, about 11, I think. But,
11 home games?
Well, about that, but I mean...
Gee, St Kilda, did you hear that? 11 home games.
You'd like to have more, wouldn't you?
11 home games?
Yeah, well, that's it, but...
That's exorbitant.
But we'll talk about it next year, okay?
I have never heard that before
Yeah.
in the history of AFL.
I'm not prepared to discuss it.
Yeah, well, you're not at all. You don't know anything about it.
It's 21-12.
Kathy at West Footscray.
Hi guys, just thought I'd ring and say hello.
Yes, Kathy, welcome.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the show. I've been out this afternoon though.
All right, well, what were you doing?
Just shopping for stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what would you like to say tonight?
I'd just like to say hello to everybody.
All right.
Good.
That's lovely.
That's a nice thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll recognise your voice, I'm sure.
Oh, they should.
Okay, thanks for calling in, Kathy.
No worries.
We've still got some more prizes, haven't we, Bruce?
Yeah, we have. We've got one of the Kong-shaped wobblers and the Kong treats. These are the ones that occupy your dog and the long days that they're in the back garden. Wonderful toys and treats.
And something Bruce brought up, which is wonderful. If you're on a long overseas flight, who would you loathe sitting next to?
Yeah, not just a matter of loathing the people, but finding it very difficult to keep a conversation going. And even in the middle of trying to have a sleep and you end up on their shoulder.
Yes.
How embarrassing that would be.
Yes.
Graham Norton, this is the list that we got together. Daniel Craig, Sid James, Jermaine Greer, and Donald Trump.
Yeah, either a bit overpowering or boring or just not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have anything in common with them.
No.
So who's on your list, folks?
Okay,
Share it with us.
but then by the same token, who would be great company?
Yes.
It's the sign in the ocean to say you're reaching Victorian waters.
Oh, well, won't they come through the heads, probably?
Oh, probably. Now, another thing with this lady today was saying about taxis. She got a taxi and asked to go to the station pier, and he didn't know where station pier was.
That's right. Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Well, he'd have GPS in the car, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah, but he might end up driving off the pier.
Well, why can't she direct him? I don't have a problem if a taxi driver says to me, which way do you want to go?
She's just lobbed in from America on this liner.
Oh.
And she wanted to come to Melbourne.
Yeah, okay. Well, he should know better then.
Where would she know? Go up Swanston Street, turn left at Lang's Parade.
Well, surely he's got a Melways in the boot.
Good on you, Ron. Andrew, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. Just to clarify, Apollo Bay is well before Warrnambool if you're coming from Melbourne or Werribee.
Before?
It's a good hour and a half before Warrnambool.
Really?
It's the main town after Lorne.
Oh.
Apollo Bay.
Oh, I've given him a bum steer.
You have, Phil, but never mind.
You see, I thought I'd go through cut through inland to Warrnambool and then hit the Great Ocean Road, Andrew.
Yeah, that's the way I typically go. Is I go inland through Birregurra, through Forest, and through the Otways there onto Apollo Bay.
Right.
Oh, he's lost his bet then.
Okay, Andrew, thank you for that. Finally, Jan at Geelong. Are you there, Jan?
Yes. Hello, boys.
Hi.
I just want to say something about the casino in Geelong.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea. We've already lost so many manufacturing jobs, and there's pokies everywhere, so it's just going to be poorer and poorer for the people that are, well, they like to play more than they should.
Yeah, but yes, maybe a convention centre, that's the way to go, and build it up from there, perhaps.
But from the other point of view, think of the employment when they're building the complex. Think of the tourism that will be attracted to Geelong.
You were against it an hour ago.
Yes, I am personally, but I'm thinking there are plus factors.
Jan, have you got a dog?
Yes, I have.
We've got a Kong-shaped wobbler for you. This is the treat for the dogs, and it'll keep them occupied all day long.
Oh, he'll love it.
He will love it, and he'll just gnaw away at it and keep him occupied. No more barking and no more barking and rooting up the garden.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much.
All right, Jan, just hold on, Dan.
A few lines called the Frog Race. There was once a bunch of tiny frogs who arranged a running competition. The goal was to reach the top of a very high tower. A big crowd had gathered around the tower to see the race and cheer on the contestants. The race began. No one in the crowd really believed that the tiny frogs could reach the top of the tower. You'd hear statements such as, "Oh, it's way too difficult. Oh, they'll never make it to the top. Not a chance that they'll succeed. The tower's too high." The tiny frogs began collapsing one by one, except for those who, in a fresh tempo, were climbing higher and higher. The crowd continued to yell, "It's too difficult. No one will make it." More tiny frogs got tired and gave up, but one continued higher and higher and higher. This one wouldn't give up. At the end, everyone else had given up climbing the tower, except for one tiny frog who, after a big effort, was the only one who reached the top. All the other tiny frogs naturally wanted to know how this one frog managed to do it. A contestant asked the tiny frog how he found the strength to succeed and reach the goal. It turned out that the winner was deaf. The moral of the story is never listen to other people's tendencies to be negative or pessimistic, because they take your most wonderful dreams and wishes away from you, the ones you have in your heart. Be deaf to people who tell you you cannot fulfill your dreams.
Copyright restricts distribution of this piece by any means of duplication.
Well, that takes us off from Nightline for another week. Thank you for your company. Back on Sunday night with Steve Bizard as our special guest on Remember When, and a lot of memories too about comedy through the years. Thanks for staying up with us. Coming up after midnight, it's Australia Overnight with Kevin John, and man, oh man, what a talent that is. Boy, what a voice. What a voice. I heard him years ago, and I couldn't believe my ears, and I'm hearing it every night on the way home.
I think it was rather cool that he was described as the man with the $1 million voice, but the $1 brain.
Oh, how rude that is.
That was very cruel, wasn't it?
That's a dreadful thing to say. He's waiting behind the curtains to come out and do a big show, and just sum it up like that. Vile thing.
I don't agree with it.
Sun will come up tomorrow with Kevin John, and it's Australia Overnight. Thanks for your company. I hope you do well at the races tomorrow, and good night, Samuel, Carter, Amelia, Emily and Charlotte, Sweet Ella Grace, little William Oliver, and Sophia Grace. I'm Bruce Mansfield.
And Bruce, I wish you a happy Derby Day. Tell you where I'm going over the weekend for the first time ever. I'm off to the Planetarium and Science Works at Spotswood. Oh. Will I have a story to tell you Sunday night?
Will you ever? Maybe a small one, but thank you. Thank you for your company.
And thank you, Bianca.
And thanks, Bianca. That's the way she went today.